So tonight, we are gathered to celebrate a most famous story, a story that is being remembered by millions of people across the world this holiday season. It is the story of a very special, a very unique child, a child of promise, a child of prophecy, one born without earthly father. He came from humble beginnings, raised in a land of dry and barren deserts. He would grow in stature and strength, performing supernatural feats. He would dedicate his life to overthrowing the state-sponsored Orthodox religious order of his day, and he would ultimately fulfill his destiny by sacrificing his own life. This is the story of Anakin Skywalker, otherwise known as Darth Vader. As many of you know, I recently delivered a Star Wars-themed sermon in honor of the new movie that came out last week, and I actually have a lot of material that I researched and that I didn't get to use in that sermon, so I thought, maybe tonight. Actually, it's not that much of a stretch. The Star Wars saga and the Christmas story have a lot in common. Both are mythic stories set a long time ago in a land far, far away. Both stories are being retold and celebrated this holiday season by millions of people. Both are massively celebrated, massively commercialized. Both stories are told through the eyes of someone named Luke. Both stories remind us about the interplay of dark and light. And both stories beckon us to take our eyes off the mundane and profane details of our everyday earthly lives and fix our attention, if for but a moment, to the heavens. So much can happen. So much can change when we simply take a moment to look up. And of course, that's how it happened with the wise men, the Magi. Although they did not make an appearance in the version of the Christmas story that we already read this evening, you may remember that according to the Gospel of Matthew, a group of wise men, kings from the east, saw a star in the sky that declared the birth of a new king. The wise men followed the star west, leading them ultimately to the Messiah and King that they had been searching for. The symbol of the Star of Bethlehem, or the Christmas star, is one that has fascinated readers and listeners for millennia. It plays such a small part in the overall narrative, yet we see it represented in all manner of art, Christmas cards replicated on the tops of our Christmas trees. There's something about this star that resonates deep within us. It carries and conveys a meaning so familiar. It harmonizes in sympathetic vibration with truths that we hold in the deep places of our hearts. Because buried in the deep places of the human heart is the light of hope. The hope that even on the darkest of nights, if we fix our eyes to the horizon instead of at our feet, and if we're willing to move, and if we're willing to follow, a divine light can lead us to the place where we will find whatever it is we are looking for, whatever it is we need most. There was a belief among the ancients that the stars above were actually angels who made up the host of heaven. And I have to tell you that I really kind of like that idea. Because I know that growing up, personally, I had an angel looking out for me. My own Christmas star, if you will. In times of greatest darkness, she was a guiding light of hope and love that helped me traverse the night. Her name was Alice McVicka, and she was my grandmother. And through the first 15 years of my life especially, through times of great trial and tribulation, Grandma Alice was there to keep me safe and always lead me home. Grandma Alice has been on my mind a lot this past year. Earlier this summer, a UU minister asked me a really poignant question that I'll share with you tonight. She asked me, who in your life loved you into becoming what you now are? I have several good answers for that question, but the first and most important was my grandmother. Grandma Alice passed away last Friday. I suspect that moving forward, I will always associate the Christmas season with her death, and I actually couldn't be happier about that. Her passing at this particular time is what placed her memory on my heart as I was writing this short holiday homily. Her passing at this particular time is what allowed me to realize that regardless of what month the calendar might have read, she always was my Christmas star, the one who led me to this place, the one who loved me into becoming what I am. On this dark winter night of hope and peace and love, I encourage you to take a moment and remember your star. The one who kept you safe, the one who guided you through the darkness, the one who loved you into becoming what you now are. Perhaps it's someone from your distant past. Perhaps someone is playing that role for you right now. Whomever it is, wherever they are, and whether they can hear you or not, tonight I urge you, tell them thank you. And remember, there's a very good chance that somebody, somewhere, right now, needs you to be their star as well, to love them through this present darkness. Do not forsake the opportunity to be the light of God in this dark world, and in so doing, leading someone to become the fulfillment of their own promise. Blessed be and Merry Christmas.